Welcome back. We are live here, Totem Pole Nation. Friday, TGIF. The grind includes Friday. I got my main man Bottles holding down Central Florida. I'm over here on the West Coast, over here on South Side St. Petersburg. And via satellite, we have Coach Taylor somewhere in between VA and Buffalo. So we're excited to join you guys on a Friday. How's everybody doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Coach Troy?
Hey, man, I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They say it's not too far from Toledo, Ohio. And, we're looking forward to going to Buffalo because, there's some great buffalo wings here in Buffalo. They say do not ask for ranch. Blue cheese all the way in Buffalo, New York. I've never eaten buffalo before. Have y'all?
I've never seen a buffalo in Buffalo, so
Or a buffalo with wings.
or a buffalo with wings. Yeah.
Yeah. Coach
Yeah,
Paul.
I've never seen a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl. How about I add that to the table? Yeah, that's actually my go-to squad, Johnny. That's been my team for my whole life. Yeah, so I know what depression feels like.
Yes, yes, yes. I used to know
Well,
a
hey,
young man who
since you
loved
brought
buffalo.
that up, it's a great day. It is a great day in the state of Virginia. It's a great day in the District of Columbia. It's a great day in Maryland because the Wicked Witch is dead. Dan Snyder is no longer the owner of the Washington football team, aka the Washington Redskins, aka the Washington Commanders. He bought it for 800 million and sold it for 6 billion. So, Danny, you did a great job. You only sexually harassed half of your female employees, and you didn't go to prison. So, congratulations. We didn't get a Super Bowl either. So, Dan Snyder, adios. Live a good life.
That's it. Yeah. See you next Tuesday.
You're fired. They
You're
fined
out
this
the
guy
door.
$60 million. They
Coach,
fined him $60 million.
I was just going to say that. I was going to ask you about the 60 mil. Why did they fine him? Tell the people why they fined him 60 mil.
Because Roger Goodell is a crook.
Of course
Roger
he is.
Goodell is the son of a politician. He
Mm-hmm.
gets paid $60 million a year. So probably to pay Roger Goodell's salary for next year because Roger Goodell works for the owners. And
Isn't it funny the way it all works out?
yes, it is. I mean, not for long. The NFL, the No Fun League, and Mickey Mantle don't care about you. Bronx Tale. Man, that was a great movie. That's the way I feel.
That was a great movie. Yeah. Yeah. Chaz Palminteri, De
Yeah,
Niro.
Ooh, I love De Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't love
love
him now. He's a little out there now, having babies.
Yeah.
What is he, 80? Having kids,
Hey,
infants.
that makes him the GOAT. All right.
Hey, everything must work fine in that area for him to be able to spit out kids the way
And so is Al Pacino. I mean, Al Pacino's the same way.
Al
I think.
Pacino.
Isn't Al Pacino having a kid? Is he still alive?
Al Pacino is a head above De Niro, I feel, because Al Pacino has no, as the kids say, he's got no F's to give. He doesn't care. He does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and that's one of the perks of being an 81-year-old man. No, he's 82, I believe. Pacino is.
wow.
Who's
Yeah.
worse? Who's worse? Who's a worse person? Michael Corleone or Don Corleone?
That's a tough one, Coach Bald. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's almost a coin flip
What's
right
saying,
there.
Michael? Because he killed his brother. I mean, Michael's worse. I mean,
Cain
Well,
and Abel.
you got to look at Don Corleone. Don Corleone dragged his kids into that business. He
Good.
didn't have to. He could have sent them off to college. Yeah.
But he was taking care of the family. He was taking care of the neighborhood. Family? I can't do it. Family is, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. Family is everything. Yeah. You betrayed the family. This one thing never can be forgiven. So yeah, y'all the best. Totem Pole Nation, what's up? Who we got watching today? Hey, we got 3 TVs turned on in Coach Bald's house, so there's 3 people watching. So thank you very much, Mrs. Bald, for having those 3 TVs on.
Yeah, she wants me to turn the volume all the way up on each one of them. I was like, no, I'm gonna let you sleep, babe. Appreciate it though.
So what's the name of the show today?
Yes.
Today it's about joy, man, and joy is kind of an option. I think you should try to choose joy every day in some kind of way. Go out there and find it. Find some joy in your life because we always know how much money we have, but we never know how much time we have. And I got a scary phone call yesterday. First, I got a message. I was messaged from one of our totem pole people. Go check on your nephew. Go check on your cousin. So first thing I do, I call my nephew. No answer. Call my cousin. No answer. Call my cousin's wife. That's a life lesson right there. If you got to find somebody, call the women in the family. They are going to be the ones that are going to always answer the phone.
Yes.
And she let me know. My amazing nephew, Sterling Akers, a badass wrestler, Dinwiddie, got in an accident. Mm-hmm. Here's another life lesson. Don't take a nap while you're driving a vehicle, okay? He fell asleep behind the wheel, flipped the truck 3-4 times. I mean, it looks like a crushed beer can at the Bottles residence.
Yes.
And, he's got some scratches. He's got some bumps. But like I said, the kid is a wrestler, which, in my opinion, that gives him a mental toughness that most people don't know. He's a amateur wrestler. And, we're big with football coaches and stuff here, but I coached both. And wrestling practice is a very intense place. There are no pads, and it gets pretty intense there. And you weed out the strong and the weak very quickly. And his mentality, he's ready for wrestling season yesterday. He's that type of kid. So want to give him a shout out. Sterling, we love you, buddy. You are going to recover very swiftly. It's all up here. It's all up here, my man. But choosing joy. And I dropped a picture of him, and it's all over social media. You can find it. But he is basically stretchered out, neck brace on, but he's got a huge smile on his face. You know what I mean?
That picture,
so
yeah.
He decided to choose joy. And it's a joy that he is still here with us today.
I got to ask Johnny Bottles something because I saw that picture with a neck brace. And, I think back to pro wrestling. I remember a lot of guys wearing neck braces. One being the Bobby the Brain Heenan.
I was just going to say that.
Yes. Ric Flair, Magnum TA had a neck brace. I think,
Kurt Hennig.
What was the Diesel Russian guy's name? Nikita Koloff.
Nikita Koloff, yeah. He had one too. Yeah.
He might have had a Halo one once. But I'm telling I saw a video. You could talk a little bit about Johnny Bottles about neck braces in pro wrestling and how important. Andy Kaufman wore a neck brace after he got pile driven by Jerry Lawler.
Yes,
but
he did.
I saw a video of Frank Fleming, a.k.a. Frank the Tank from Barstool Sports, making a video. And I don't know why he does not like the Squared Circle Maniacs, but he has made another video saying that wrestling is fake and the Squared Circle Maniacs are losers. Johnny Bottles, how do you feel about Frank the Tank? I think he's getting fatter by the minute.
I can. If you cup your hand to your ear, much like Hulk Hogan used to do back in the 80s, to listen to the crowd, you can hear Frank Fleming in New Jersey swelling up even as we speak. You ever rub a balloon when your hands are real dry and it makes that squeaky noise? That's the sound Frank Fleming's making when he's getting larger. I can hear it now.
Oh my God. Oh,
Truly a repugnant, reprehensible, gelatinous hunk of.
Will, we need this to be made into a short. You have done an excellent job, Johnny Bottles, making
Oh.
shorts. But I don't understand why Frank the Tank does not like the Square Circle Maniacs and you in particular. What is the beef between y'all? He calls y'all January Sixers, which I
When
think
I
that is offensive.
when I saw that video that he did on TikTok and on Barstool Sports Twitter, referring to us as that, I said, this guy doesn't listen to us. He doesn't know anything about us. He just has an opinion. And opinions are like an orifice on your body, not the one I'm speaking with right now, but they're like that other orifice on your body where the badness comes out. and that's what was coming out of his orifice in his cranium. So, Frank Fleming is a vile, repugnant, nasty, bloated, any excuse to shove a hot dog in his face, repugnant, nitrate eating, high caloric sugar soda drinking, vile, disgusting human being. Did I cover everything there? That's what he is. I harass him. I harass him at least once daily on social media. I comment on his videos he puts out. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't know who's worse. You know what? If you take a look at Dave Portnoy's psyche, his mind, his character, it looks like Frank Fleming.
Yes.
Frank Fleming is the actual physical representation of Dave Portnoy's character. Yes. I said it. Somebody had to say it, and I said it. And it's Freeform Friday here at the Bottles Bungalow. We say what's on our mind.
Oof.
And it's also my wedding anniversary today, by the way, July 21st.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, Johnny.
Swig a Diet Pepsi for Mrs. Bottles.
Amen.
Yes. Coach Bald and Dave Portnoy have a long-standing feud. Now, what do you think would occur, Johnny Bottles, if Coach Bald would get into the squared circle with Dave Portnoy, who can't even shoot a basketball?
I think that it would be much like S.D. Jones being beaten by King Kong Bundy at that one WrestleMania. It would be one and done. It would be over before you would know it. They would ring the bell, and Coach Bald would spring into action. Portnoy would try to attack him from behind before the bell rings, while Coach Bald's getting his sequin-feathered robe off. As he drops that, he would pivot. He'd clock Portnoy. 1, 2, 3. He would do the JOB for Coach Bald.
Nailed it.
Hey, man, I love you guys, but I got to go. Y'all kill it this week, and y'all the best.
All right, boss.
Coach. Yes,
He's
sir.
gone. That quick. He's out the door.
Man, what a legendary trip that he's about to have there. He's going, as we speak, to see your favorite offensive line coach's favorite offensive line coach, Coach McNally.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Coach McNally just yesterday or the day before, or maybe both days, post videos of him knocking out 15 pull-ups at 80 years old.
Phenomenal.
I mean, what a legend. What a legend.
Tough
and I
man.
mean, he'll be sitting there, and he can block. The way he blocks these chairs is just phenomenal. The detail that goes into it, the verbiage of him breaking it down. You could literally be literally be in grade school, close your eyes, listen to him, and understand the fundamentals that he brings. He brings it at that level of teaching. It is phenomenal. And one of the coolest things is he was showing video in his bedroom. And, as football coaches, and especially with the line, Johnny, you have these blocking dummies, that you use for certain things. Coach McNally actually uses those as his pillows. Those are the things he lays his head on when he needs to rest at night. Not real pillows. They're actually blocking bags. That's how much of a guru and how much this guy loves football. It is phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal, man, I know you guys linked up. No spoilers, but I heard yesterday was pretty magical with Guy Evans.
Guy Evans was the author, or is the author, of two books. He doesn't have a great body of work, but he's getting there. He's still a young guy.
Yeah,
He's from Great Britain. Guy Evans wrote the book called Nitro, which is basically about the rise and fall of the WCW promotion. Now, it's not all wrestling related. There are a lot of interviews in there with Turner executives from Turner Broadcasting. A lot of the interviews in there with the wrestlers themselves and the people that ran the show backstage. Fascinating read, fascinating stories. He couldn't give a lot of it away because he wants you to buy the book, of course. There's a 5-year anniversary. He wrote this book 5 years ago. There's a 5-year expanded anniversary edition that you can buy. 2 versions of it, I might add. 2 versions you can buy. One has all these extra pages. It's almost, the book is like this thick. It's 500 pages, Coach.
wow.
And the other edition that you can get has a new foreword by Eric Bischoff, the man who ran WCW, a new foreword there that he put into it. It's got all these, they're called run sheets, format sheets of how the TV shows are run, what they have scheduled in. You have where guys edited with a pencil and wrote in, like if there was a change of plans, if someone got hurt, they put crib notes on the sides and all that. Those are all included in the book. A lot of new photos from behind the scenes that were never seen anywhere else except for in this book. Great value. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on GuyEvansBooks.com, his website. Fantastic book. He had a lot of tales to tell. And Don Wayne had read that book. He also listened to it on the way to work. He had 2 copies of it, one to read and one, the Audible book, to listen to while he was driving to work, coming back home from work, that sort of thing. Don really did his due diligence and dug his teeth into it. And
Amen.
he has some great questions to ask also of Guy Evans. Guy Evans is smart, witty, urbane, sophisticated, great guy to talk to. And it was he had some technical difficulties with his Wi-Fi when it started, but however, after it started, the ball got rolling, and with Guy, we know you got to go. And, it's been great having you here. Oh, I can stay for a while longer. I like you guys. So.
That's how when I'm lucky and blessed enough to go to the Legends luncheons that they do in Tampa, and that's always members only. You know what I mean? Luckily, I got a big brother in the game that he brought me in. So I get to go to those. But yeah, man, that's exactly how it is. Once the boys start talking about it, and the questions start going, and then you start hearing stories, man. Next thing you know, it's been 3 hours later, and you're just having a great time and great conversations. And it's nice to get in there and really talk to people about things that you are interested in and that is fun to you. And just learning from others, the stories that I've heard there have just been so phenomenal. I mean, and that's why I love what we're doing here at Totem Pole Nation. We are documenting history. We're documenting some of the best stories, that nobody has ever heard, or that you can only hear if you're hanging out in person with Johnny Bottles, if you're hanging out with Coach Taylor, if you're hanging out with Don Wayne, and maybe you're sipping a couple suds and those cool stories come out. So yeah, man, that's why I really enjoy what we're doing here and everything. And definitely look forward this Sunday, 4:00. Set your clocks. 4:00 Eastern Standard here, Totem Pole Nation. You're going to see our main man, Guy Evans, my main man, Johnny Bottles, Don Wayne, and the Motorhead. They're all going to be coming at you live with just some good stuff. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you will definitely want to tune in, because Guy, he is a young gentleman, but man, the knowledge that he has on pro wrestling, especially in those days. I mean, at that time, that was one of the biggest moments in pro wrestling, in my opinion, is when, you did have the battle between WCW and you had the battle with NWO versus, WWE. I think it made both of them stand up and bring their A game every single week. And all of them, after they would do a show, they were doing this number. They were looking over to seeing what the other guy was doing. The competition was was phenomenal back then. And yeah, it's just awesome to have him. And it's a possibility we get him back on. You know, he did. I believe you got some information on him. Didn't he help out with a book with Eric Bischoff as well?
Yes, his second book that he wrote was with Eric Bischoff. It was called Grateful. I would assume it's a little bit of a biography, a semi-autobiography, because Eric did write part of it with him. But it's not a complete autobiography, because that means the guy that the book's about wrote the book completely. That's an autobiography. A biography is where someone wrote a book about, let's say, Coach Bald or Johnny Bottles. That would be our biography. So it's a semi-autobiography of Bischoff. But that's a great book also. We got to get him on later to talk about that. He said he'd come back anytime, which is a great thing. And folks, if you're like looking for details about the matches in WCW, what went on in the ring, we didn't talk about that. We talked about what went on in the dressing room, the locker room, backstage, the boardroom, the courtroom, things like that in WCW. And he told an interesting story. I'm just going to give you a little soupçon, a little taste of a story that he told to reel you in, so you'll listen on Sunday. He talked about a meeting that Dr. Harvey Schiller. Does that name ring any bells with you, sir? Dr. Harvey Schiller.
It does not. It does not.
For 30 years, he was the president of TBS Sports.
Wow.
And he had a meeting with Vince McMahon about the sale of WCW. That's all I'm going to say about that. We've got some details about that right from Guy Evans. Yes. And we kept saying, guys, save it for the book. Save it for the book. Let him buy the book. Let him buy the book. But Guy Evans is a mensch. He's a great guy, and I'd love to go. In fact, he's right down near. He's down your way. How far are you from Tampa?
Yeah, it's right across the bridge. So 25 minutes if my wife's driving 15. Yeah.
He was in a. Your wife's a road warrior, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Guy Evans is in the Tampa hotel room when we were talking to him. So he was having some Wi-Fi problems on his laptop, but he got it sussed out and everything's fine. And it was a great show. Oh, we got a little something here from Matt Davis. Our good friend Matt Davis. Happy Friday. The grind includes Friday. Of course it does. Health is wealth. And happy anniversary bottles. Mr. Davis, thank you, sir. I don't know you personally, but God bless you. I hope you're doing well wherever you're at. And life is good here. Life is good.
Yeah, Matt is he's one of my best friends. He's up in Michigan, and he's been one that at one time, I want to say he was like close to 270, and now he's about 170. He's a guy that completely changed his life, and he's just a warrior. He's got that warrior mentality. And it was funny, man, because he hit me up the other day and was talking about you. He was like, hey, man, because he loves sports, and especially football, and he loves to place wagers on it. And he was asking me if you have ever been on a channel where you provide picks and stuff like that, because I think he was watching some gurus and he swears he saw you or heard you. Is there any information you can give us? Is there a website where we can get your picks?
No, I don't do football picks or anything like that. I've never done football picks. I've never been on a TV show or a radio show where I was talking about picks or anything like that.
Gotcha. Well, man, we're glad we reeled you in, because everybody knows who you are now, and if they don't, they will find out. Go follow my man. He's on Twitter right here, Johnny Bottles. You can see
Johnny Bottles
at the bottom. He brings a lot of good insight, great information, and we're just so blessed to have him here. Not only does he do this, but he does the Pop Culture podcast, which is amazing. I learn something every single time it's on. I learned about Ric Flair's energy drink. It's so good. It gives you so much energy, you'll be able to go, ooh.
There you go.
Right afterwards.
I'd like to try a bottle of that, as a matter of fact. I'd like to try that. I was drinking some Monster energy drink yesterday. They've got a peachy keen sugar-free Monster energy drink. And I don't know if you do. Do you do the energy drinks, Coach? I know you do your go-go juice and your apple cider vinegar.
You know, I'll make a long story short. We had a time where I was working out and we were going to Las Vegas. So I got a good workout in. I take my animal pack vitamins. I take that when I'm working out hard. Mm-hmm. And it's a product that's been out since the 80s, the animal pack. It's great stuff. Any product that's been out that long is probably pretty legit, in the fitness industry. But I took that and we're headed to the airport and I take a sip of a sugar-free Red Bull. Mm-hmm. And about halfway down, man, everything just changed. I just stomach started hurting, head started hurting, started sweating. Then I was freezing cold. Then I was hungry. Then I started eating something and I was full. But it did something where it triggered something in my mind to where I wasn't right. Like I started having some kind of attack. And, I guess it was a panic attack. Mm-hmm. And I
heart's racing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't having it until that. And it was so bad that the wife pulled over. I mean, I pulled over. I was driving. She drove. About halfway, I wasn't feeling right. And it was really blowing my mind because I was in such great shape. What could be wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? And we pull up into a hospital. And she's sitting there, and I mean, she's in the medical field. So she's going to tell me,
She's laid it all out for you right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And she says, we've been waiting to go to Vegas for half a year. Mm-hmm. If you go in there and you tell them how you're feeling, they're going to be scared and they're going to, they're going to have you here overnight.
You're going to be admitted. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're not talking like a person that just has a scratch on their arm. You're talking like something is really scary going on. And, you know what? I just tried to gut through it, and we got to the airport. She got me in a wheelchair, and I didn't look at anybody, and wheeled me onto the plane and everything. And I sat there, and eventually it all slowed down, and everything got back to normal. But yeah, I have never had a sip of a Red Bull or anything, like that ever since. And I've actually had I've actually tried a few of the different ones, the Bang energies and stuff like that, and I never had any effect from it. But yeah, with the Red Bull and the other energy drinks, I've just tried to avoid those altogether. It's the go-go juice, black coffee. That's kind of my go-to. And I actually have a pitcher in the refrigerator of cold coffee that I mixed with my hot coffee. So yeah, I'm a big coffee drinker.
I take the cold coffee that's left over, put it in the fridge, and the next morning I make a protein smoothie, protein shake. I dump the cold coffee, some of it, in with the ice and with the powder, and I throw my greens powder in the protein shake too. And I do all that. The reason why you had that reaction to Red Bull is because I guarantee you those animal pack vitamins you're taking have a lot of B1, B12, B2, B3, and a lot of B vitamins. B vitamins open up. People don't realize B vitamins and niacin, which is a B vitamin. Yeah, niacin. It opens up your arteries, your venous system, for your blood flow, your circulatory system. Opens everything up. It dilates it. So you have more energy that way. The blood's hitting all cells in your body. Now, Red Bull has a high concentration of taurine and B vitamins. So you're doing like a quadruple dose of all that niacin and B12 and B vitamins and B6 and B3 and B element of PZ. You're doing all that, and it was just too much. Your heart was trying to keep up with that strong blood flow that's coming in. And, that's you were having a bad reaction to that. Not to mention the copious amounts of caffeine that's in Red Bull. So, you do those animal pack vitamins, man, and you have a couple cups of go-go juice, you're ready to take on the world. And you throw a Red Bull on top of that. Good Lord. You know what does it to me? Bang Energy does it to me. Bang. Okay. Yeah. It makes my ticker quicker. So, I drank one of those things. I'm going, whoa. And I did it after 3 cups of coffee. Like at noon, I took a Bang energy drink because I sold Bang for a while.
Yeah.
And every time they came out with a new flavor, and you got a sales meeting when you're in the beverage industry, you're trying that new flavor. And it was cotton candy Bang, I believe.
Okay.
Tasted delicious, but good Lord, man. I felt like I was about to crawl out of my own skin and shake it out and put it back on again. That's how I felt. I'm just,
I think my go-to was that purple haze. The purple haze was it was so delicious. But yeah, man, I remember we were close to the airport, and over there in Orlando, because we were hopping on a plane going direct right to Vegas. But yeah, we get over by the airport, and there's like a little swampy area, and I even tell Mrs. Bald, I'm like, I'm gonna get out of the car, and I'm gonna go grab an alligator, and I'm gonna make me some new shoes. And when I said that to her, she locked me in the vehicle, said, don't talk to anybody at the airport until you get on the plane. And yeah, man, she wheeled me in. We got the luggage and everything. And yeah, about halfway through the flight, man, everything just kind of got back to normal. But yeah, it was a scary, scary moment. There's nothing worse than, thinking that you're a very healthy individual, and then all of a sudden your mind is just something that usually clicks is not clicking, and your thought process is just out of the wax.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's why I don't really mess with those energy drinks. Just big into coffee and everything. But man, that's awesome about you. Doing the protein. Doing the protein every morning with the greens and stuff like that. How many days have you been doing it now, and have you seen some results or some effects? Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better. I've been doing it for a week and a half now. And
Nice.
the greens, I think it's Simple Greens or something like that. I forgot what it's called. Small jar. They sell it at Walmart. You can buy these things at your Walmart. Walmart has a full aisle full of supplements for your health, for protein. An entire one side of an aisle is filled with nothing but protein-based drinks, powders, aloe vera and protein you can buy now. That's good for your skin. It's good for your connective tissues. And pre-made protein drinks. They have their own brand over there of Walmart. Pre-made protein shakes in a little bottle, little can, variety of different ways, folks. You can get this stuff and it's affordable. You can buy it. It's not gonna hurt your bank account. It's not gonna pop the wallet open. It's not gonna bust the empire by springing for a case of already pre-made protein drinks. The powders, which you can mix with 2% milk, or you can mix it with skim milk if you like, and that's what I do. And they're $20 for a tub. A big tub of protein powder.
Yeah,
Walmart brand. So you can't beat it. It's all good whey protein. Not going to hurt you, folks. We wouldn't steer you wrong here. Matt Davis says Mrs. Bald's a race car driver. She don't get beat on the road.
Yeah, man. She does. She can go to 0 to death row real quick, Johnny. I mean, real quick. But I tell you, she drives aggressively. And when you drive aggressively in Florida, you see the worst, the biggest clowns ever. Like there's something where we're at where people, they have these things that you're supposed to use in your car where you're supposed to hit your blinker when you're getting over. For some reason, people just do not do that anymore. I don't know if they stopped teaching it in driver's ed or it's a new law, but people are getting over without putting their blinker on. Even if you're the only person on the road, I believe you're still supposed to put your blinker on when you're getting over.
I like the ones that just throw the blinker on and change lanes. No warning. I got to get over right now. Click, hit the blinker.
Oh yeah.
And jump right over.
You see it. They turn it on when they get in your lane after they cut you off.
Well, they do teach that. They teach all the kids because I taught 4 kids how to drive. And they do teach that in driver's ed in school. And also, you can fail a test if you don't use your blinker. At least it was at the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration when they have their tests there on site. Because I know a girl who failed a test by not backing up into a parking spot and having her blinker on for that one part of the test. Okay, you failed. You got to get out. What happened? You didn't have your blinker on the whole time you were navigating into this parking spot. Oh, my God. Oh, wow.
Amen, man. What a brutal way to fail a test, man. Just a simple blinker. Apparently, her and everybody she knows that does the same. They live here in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tampa, and my wife's chasing them.
Yeah, there you go. She's trying to catch up. Say, hey, put your blinker on, you bastard.
So I got a awesome cousin. Her name is Tori, and her thing is whenever she gets cut off or something, she'll pull beside the people and she'll do this number. That's her deal. She'll go past them and be like, "You."
It beats the other finger. You know what I mean? The other finger. It beats the other finger. It's better than that. The other finger can get you shot at nowadays on the road. Matt Davis says the new Celsius energy drink is more healthy than all the other ones. Puts the boost to your metabolism to help burn calories. That's a good thing to burn the calories.
That's questionable right there because my brother Mario, my wife's brother, so my brother-in-law, he actually got some receipts. And he sent them in, and I guess because they weren't putting stuff in there that they said or whatever, they were, not doing their gimmick, that they actually gave him money back. So I guess it was just some kind of lawsuit, and that saying that Celsius sent him, a rebate for him to get money back because, it wasn't legit. So I'm not sure about that, Matt. You better do your due diligence. Maybe try something else. And I got him hooked on. I got him on the coffee. So he wasn't really a big coffee drinker. So that was one of the things. We had to trade some bad habits for some good habits. And he's also on the apple cider vinegar, the greens drinks like we are, and it's doing really good for him. He posts a lot of good videos on Facebook and stuff like that. Very motivated guy, man. And I'm excited because this football season he's coming down. They're doing the old throwback game here, Johnny, in Tampa. They're going to break out the old creamsicle, and him being a huge Detroit Lions fan, him and his wife are going to come down and go to that game, and hopefully we'll boo his ass out of the stadium and take those boys to the woodshed.
Right.
But how's your weekend looking? Anything you got going on? You're excited about?
Nothing planned. We're going to celebrate the anniversary whenever she gets out of bed today, and we'll do our thing, go out to dinner, maybe check out a movie, that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Probably just just a usual weekend at the Bottles Bungalow. Dogs, 4 dogs. The pool, grilling out.
How many you got?
4 dogs.
Wow, man.
3 huskies. 3 huskies, and we got baby Bubba you saw yesterday, the Alaskan Kleekai. Only 7,000 of them in the world, the Alaskan Kleekais, and we've got one. So, funny story how we got that dog. When we lived back in Glen Burnie, Maryland. And there's a little suburb called Pasadena, Maryland, which is how can I describe this? It's a cross between the suburbs and a rural area. You might have all these conglomerations and clusters of housing, single-family homes, and then you drive a mile down the road, and you got some dirt roads, you've got some farmhouses and things like that. It's an odd mix of those two types of housing areas. But anyway, we saw on Facebook that someone had a Alaskan Kleekai, and they couldn't take care of the dog because it's less than a year old, and it had so much energy that her and her husband were both in their 80s. And she's got circulatory issues. Her legs were swollen. She had to sit in a chair for like an hour every night, which has those pressurized leg clamps that massage your legs and gets the blood flow back up to your heart. because she was retaining so much fluid. Her husband beat cancer. He's going through another bout of it again. The doctors think they found it again. So she finally talked those people. This was a dog trainer, by the way, who posted it on Facebook in a husky Facebook page, which my wife follows because we had 3 at the house at the time. And she says, can someone please take this dog off their hands? And my wife called about it, and the trainer explained the situation. So the trainer called the lady, and we went down there and took a look at the dog. And we saw the way they were living. Nice house. They were right on the water down in Pasadena, Maryland, right on a creek. They had a boat ramp. Very nice house. But the problem was they couldn't walk the dog. They couldn't keep up with the dog. They had him on a leash with the loop of the leash underneath a chair to keep him from running around the house chasing their 2 cats. He was fascinated with cats because he's never seen them before. And I'll tell you why he's never seen them before. There was a guy who lived next door to this couple. He was a real estate guy. He had a lot of like different houses that he would rent out to people. And he didn't live there in the house that was next door to them. It was a rental that he wanted to rent. He put the dog there. He bought the dog with the intention of breeding the dog. But little Bubba, had a plumbing problem down below. In fact, he was a what's a good term I can use on the when you do one ball paw. Have you ever heard that expression? One ball paw. He only had one working down there.
Oh man. Uh-oh.
So he couldn't procreate. He's not going to spill his seed throughout the landscape and have little Bubbas running around. Wouldn't work. So he says, I paid all that money for this dog. $3,000, $4,000 a guy paid for the dog. $4,000 I paid for this dog. And he's not going to sire me any other dogs. He wanted to sell those dogs. You know, a litter of puppies, a female dog could have 7, 10 puppies and $4,000 a piece. Hey, look at that. That guy was looking for a cash cow. He's just going to have the dog stud all the time. But he took the dog. This is how inhumane this guy was. He took the dog and put it in the empty house. He got a big bucket and filled it with dog food. He had another big bucket filled with water. He'd come back every 2 weeks to change things out. And there was newspaper all over the kitchen floor. Well, the dog got out, naturally. It's going to have the run of the house. It was a single-floor house. The house was destroyed. I mean, he was chewing holes in the corners of the walls. He was chewing up the baseboards. He did his business everywhere, and he would bark all day long because there's no curtains up. He would look out the windows to see people and bark like, hey, get me out of here. Yeah. So one night, Jack's sitting there swilling a snifter of Jack Daniels or scotch or whatever he drinks, and he hears all this commotion at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And he says, I'm going to go over there and take a look. And he goes over there and looks in the window because there's only one light on, and he sees that little dog in there, and a mess. So he took and he knows that guy, no one goes in and out of that house. Every 2 weeks that guy would come there. He left the dog in there for months. Jack took his pocket knife out and jimmied the back door. I don't know how he did it. He jimmied the back door and got the dog out of the house. So a week goes by, and the guy comes back and says, hey, Jack, let me ask you a question. You see anybody fooling around my house over there? I think somebody broke into my house and stole my dog. You mean this dog right here? What are you doing with my dog? He says, well, I'm doing with your dog what you haven't been doing with your dog. I'm taking care of it. Yeah, you know, breaking and entering is a crime. He goes, you know, animal cruelty is a crime too. I'll see you later. And he shut the door. He never heard back from the guy. The guy never asked, how's my dog? Can I please have my dog back? And Jack said, I'm not giving it to him anyway, even if he would have asked. He'd have to call the police. So that's how they got the dog. They took the dog and got him checked out. And, you know, other than his plumbing problem, the dog was fine. And healthy as a horse. He runs around here loving life. And the dog just didn't know how to act around people. He only saw 3 humans in his entire life. He never saw any other life forms. No cats, no other dogs. When he saw our dogs, he was like, wow, look at the size of those things. Because he's a little dude. But you would never know he's little, man. Everything. He barks at everything just to say hi because he's curious about it. He'll bark at a fly when he sees it go by. He's hilarious, and he's a good-natured little animal. And I don't know why we have a ring alarm system on this house when we've got that dog. That dog, Coach, could hear a fly fart 3 blocks away. That's how good his hearing is. So
They are the dogs, animal, especially dogs, but they are the best alarm system you can have.
yes,
You
they are.
know,
Yes, they are.
we love Rottweilers, so we always have that's kind of been in our family and everything. And they do, man. They have such big, bassy,
Hmm.
they like when people knock on the door and I go to answer the door, they're always a good 6, 7 feet away from the door because they just hear, that bark and everything. And and her too, man. Like boats can go by, and she'll think a boat is going to pull up here and attack us, so she will run over the water, bark at them. One of the coolest things about our Rotties is whenever they see a dolphin or hear it, they will be over there barking at the water, and that lets us know, hey, man, there's dolphins over there. So yeah, man, we'll go over there, post up. I had posted a video the other day. It was so cool because the dolphins were out here out back, but then we saw a baby, and the baby was just so happy. I mean, it was jumping out of the water. It was really showing off for us and everything. And I got some family in town, so it was so good that they got to see that and video it and everything. But man, that is so cool that that Jack was such a hero and did that. And now that that baby that once had no love is now loved unconditionally and has 3 other siblings and 2 other kitty cats that it can chase around and have fun with. Man, that is awesome. That is a very good story, man.
Let me tell you a sidebar about Jack. We found out Jack was a character. Jack says, "Come on down my basement," because my wife's upstairs talking to his wife, talking about the dog and all that. And, oh, God, yeah, you know what? My circulation's bad. I got a gout in my left toe. I got to do this. I got to do that. And she's all the ailments because they're in their 80s. They didn't have a lot of people coming by to talk to them, things like that. So my wife sat there and drank a coffee with her, and they shot the breeze for a while. And Jack goes, "Come on downstairs. I'm going to show you something." We go down in this man's basement. He's got 4 poker machines. He's got 2 bars, full bars, like you would see in a hotel. My hand to God. He's got 2 refrigerators, okay? Food and alcohol, like for shots, in one refrigerator, and the other refrigerator is stocked with Coors Light, Miller Lite, and Corona. And bottom shelf is Heineken. I said, "Why you got it on the bottom so down low?" He goes, "I got to make them work for it when they come over." What do you do here? And I look around. He's got 2 pool tables, 5 card tables. He's running like a little casino out of his basement for his friends when they come by. And people, his neighbors, people in the neighborhood. He's got 5 big screen TVs all up on the wall like a sports bar. I said, "Good Lord, Jack, this is a great setup. You don't have nothing like this in your house?" He started laughing. He was a professional gambler. His father was a professional gambler, and he started telling me stories about his father gambling with Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Dean Martin, the Rat Pack. He says, when I was 7 years old, I was on a boat with the Rat Pack.
Wow.
And we were headed to Jackie Gleason's island, south of Miami. Jackie Gleason had his own island. Yeah, you know who he is? Of course I know who Jackie Gleason was. He was in The Honeymooners, and he was a comedic genius. He was also a musical writer. Yeah, he wrote sheet music, instrumental music. He had a couple albums of instrumental music. He was an actor, pool player. He had his own TV show, the Jackie Gleason Show, on network television. I watched it when I was a kid. Well, he had an island, and Sinatra didn't like kids, so Sinatra says, "Get that kid out of here! Get that kid out of here! Tell him to go up front. Tell him to go up front with Manuel." Manuel was the guy driving the boat, so they made him sit up front with Manuel, 7 years old, and he's watching. He goes, "You want to drive the boat? You come on over here. You drive the boat. You drive the boat. Sit on my lap. You drive the boat." So he was driving the boat. Hit the throttle. Which one's the throttle? Hit the throttle right there. Hit the stick. The boat would speed up. He thought it was the greatest thing on the planet. So they go to this island, and it looks like they're about to crash into this lagoon on the island and hit this cliff wall. He hits a button. My hand to God. He hits a button on the dashboard of the boat. It sends a radio signal out. The boat's moving slow, though. They're not doing 100 knots. They're going slow by this time because it looks like they're about to crash. The wall of the cliff slides up like something out of a James Bond movie, and the boat goes in, to this inner lagoon where there's all these different docks and all these yachts and boats are all there. And they pull this thing in and they park it. And they have the valets come out and help you get out of the boat and all that. And it was the Rat Pack, a couple civilians, his father included, and all these swimsuit girls were all on the boat.
Wow.
And they all come off and they go into Jackie Gleason's underground casino that he had under his house in Miami on an island. And I said, how much of it did you see? Well, they wouldn't let me in the rooms they were gambling because Frank didn't like kids. So,
man, I bet when you saw that spread, you were probably like, dude, we could have been hanging out a long time ago. Huh?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Man, 3 or 4 bars in there, pool tables, TVs.
It was like going to a little neighborhood bar, a little mini sports bar. That's what it was like. It was phenomenal.
What a man cave.
Yeah.
What a man.
He says I retired with millions because my father taught me how to gamble, and I retired with millions because what he did with his money was he bought housing down in Baltimore City and rented it out. He was what is known as a slumlord, and he had 25 houses down in Baltimore City that he would rent out, and this is before cell phones, of course, when he was gambling. Before pagers, back in the 80s, he said to this woman that he knew, he was friends with, and she was down on her luck, he goes, you can live in this house. You can live in this house, fully furnished, and you don't have to pay me any rent. I'll pay the BGE, the gas electric, rather. And I'm not paying for cable. You pay for your own cable. All you have to do is this phone will ring, and you will answer it. And you'll take down all the details of the next games that are coming up because he would get all the info about the poker games, where they're going to be, whose house it's going to take place in, whose estate. She'd write everything down for him. She was his messaging service. And then you call me at the end of the day and give me the update on everything that you've written down. She was like a gambling secretary, so to speak. Matt Davis writes in, hell yeah, going to be a great time, fun game, but I think those Bucks will be on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Matt Davis is throwing it down right now to Coach Bald.
Matt, we will see, my man. We might not have a victory until that game, but we will get that game. We will get that game. Now, I know he's super excited, man. Detroit, they finished the season really strong. They had a good off season. They loaded up and everything, so it's going to be fun, and anytime you want to go to a game too, me and the wife, we always have 2 spare tickets. We sit third level. You know, we're third level, but we're wheelchair row, which means nobody sits in front of us. Nobody sits behind us. It's very comfortable. We're right there on the wall. And for me, man, it's the best view in the house. You know, you can see the plays develop and everything. Right. But yeah, I wouldn't go to any games early in the season because that thing is a sizzler. It is a grill. But we're in the section that gets the shade the first. And but you know, once Brady left, we've got nothing but 1 o'clock games. You know, and if anybody that doesn't know, 1 o'clock is usually when they, everybody plays the top tier teams, the teams that the NFL thinks or wants to be the top teams. They're the ones that get those 4:05 and 4:25 start times and everything.
Right. Hey, we got another Matt here who's watching us on Facebook. Matt Baker. Yep. What's up? Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for checking us out. I got his buddy, Coach Lee, here. He's been hanging out with us, having the time of his life. They did some parasailing. They went to the Rays baseball game, which wasn't good for us, but I'm sure you're smiling up there because your Baltimore Orioles are now solely in first place. And, I mean, what a division. You know, everybody is above 500 in that division. It's very, very rare you see the New York Yankees in the cellar. But yeah, they are. The Orioles are coming on strong. Toronto has been coming on strong, and that division is just it's going to be brutal. It's going to come down to the last week, and that's what we all hope for with baseball and everything. But yeah, we got a big open house tomorrow at St. Pete Rejuvenate. We have our girl coming in, our Botox girl. She's one of the best. She is phenomenal. She looks like she's 28. Apparently, she's in her 40s, but she's just a magician when she gets to work. And also, we got some IV hydration therapy going on. We're going to be doing our weight loss shots as well with our clientele and everything. So every month we do one Saturday where it's kind of an open house deal, and we have a really good time with it. So that's what we got going on tomorrow. And then I think Sunday, going to have some family over, probably just hang out at the pool. And yeah, man, just have a good weekend. Sunday, fun day. Got some. I think we got some MMA maybe this weekend, so I'll be watching that and everything.
Oh, they got matches this weekend?
I believe so. I believe there is some MMA. I don't believe there's any wrestling pay-per-views this weekend. Yeah, gotcha.
No, nothing like that. Is it UFC this weekend?
I believe it might be some UFC. I might be wrong. It seems like every other week they're doing a pay-per-view. I got one of those. I get all the pay-per-views and everything, so I'll watch whatever's on, whatever the good stuff is. And we got to give a shout out to our Virginia, our Nodaway girls. They are heading to states. We did an awesome podcast pumping those girls up. They pumped us up just as much, so super fired up about them, excited for them. They're going to be headed to Louisiana for the Super Bowl of softball. Really proud of those girls. And huge shout out to Cultivate Wellness. Check out their website. Amazing website. They can ship it right to you if you're out of state. If you're in that Richmond, Virginia, Chesterfield area, my beautiful cousin Julia works over there on the Midlothian Turnpike. She will take great care of you. If you're not, if it's your first time in there, just let her know what your ailments are, how they can help you. You need to sleep better. You need to eat better. They can help you with, they're well diverse in everything they do there. But
what a beautiful thing. Doing the Lord's work down there at Cultivate Wellness. Or up there, I should say. They're north of us.
So. Right, I know. I'm like you, brother. I always kind of say, hey, when down there. We are down here.
Yeah, we are down. We're as far down as you can go, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and everybody in that area too, man. You guys stay safe. I saw Hurricane Don is supposed to be hitting the East Coast sometime this week. If you need any hurricane information, hit us up because me and my man Bottles, we know a little thing about hurricane parties, don't we?
Absolutely. Down here in God's country, pal, Florida. Yeah.
Get your toilet paper now.
Get it now.
Toilet paper now.
Get your bottles of water now. Yeah, we're on a well where we're at, so the power goes out. We got nothing pumping that water. We got to stock up on cases of water. So.
Yeah, amen. And huge shout out to Sideline Design.
Absolutely.
Man. We thought we looked good until we met you guys, man. You guys have turned it up to a whole nother level in every aspect. You're helping out with our wrestling podcast. Our football podcast has never looked better. You're making us look good on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, man. Thank you guys. And you can find all of us on all of those platforms. Find Johnny Bottles. Find Totem Pole Nation. Find Coach Bald. We are easy to find, and we don't hide from anybody. Any last words?
A Sideline Design, folks, can even make Frank Fleming and Dave Portnoy look good. Think about that.
Ooh, man. There you go. We're going to go on that note, guys, to the next episode. We love you, Totem Pole Nation. Johnny Bottles, have a great weekend. Hit me up if you need anything, my brother. Take care.
You got it, Coach. Have a good one now. Take care.
Yes, sir.